Real Madrid are inevitable.
They're a great team, but they're not. At the start of the season, I thought Man City were favourite.
We all said Man City were the favourites, and Arsenal were.
There's two players that I can see now. Is it Nacho and Kroos?
And you've got ahead of them Vinicius, Rodrigo, Bellingham, Endrick, and Mbappe.
Liverpool brought on Salah, Nunes to try and change the last minute. By that point, it was late.
It's better for Chelsea and it's better for Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Because Newcastle would have been there and Chelsea would have been in the Europa League. Welcome back to FootyCast. Today we're going to close up with the European season, as the Champions League final was yesterday. I think we all watched, and Real Madrid are inevitable.
Yeah.
And I feel a bit sorry for Borussia Dortmund. They were fantastic for about 70 minutes, and then just Real Madrid did what Real Madrid do, and
in these games,
2-0 won, and they won the 15th Champions League.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
5 for Carlo. And I think there's 4 of their players now have 6 each. Kroos has got 5 at Real Madrid and 1 at Bayern, I think. Modric has got 6
with Real Madrid.
I think Carvajal and
Nacho,
I think.
Yeah, Nacho.
Have 5. They're all at 5 each.
Yeah.
Because there was a picture I seen on Instagram where they got like 4 of them, 24 Champions Leagues.
That's crazy.
It's
I think since 2014, they've won it 6 times. So they won La Decima in 2014, and then 16, 17, 18, and then 22.
They had a pause, didn't they, for a bit with Barcelona. It's sort of taken over, and other clubs have come up. I think Bayern as well at 9. And then Ancelotti came back and won them the Decima.
The Decima 2014.
Yeah.
And then Zidane's won 3 in a row.
3, and then
so 11, 12, and 13.
22.
And then Carlo's come bottom the 14th and now the 15th. I know, I think, you guys know I love Don Carlo, but Don Carlo is now on 5 Champions Leagues all by himself in a division of his own. And I think he's won 2 or 3 as a player as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He just loves the competition, doesn't he?
I think it's Real Madrid love the competition. It is their competition. They are the kings of Europe. And Ancelotti just loves it. I think they've just pulled it up. Because if you think at the start of the season, I think he's had how many, like 37 or 41 injuries or some ridiculousness. And mainly at like centre-half. I think they've had like Alaba out, Eder Militao out.
Yeah.
I think some of the others as well. And then they've had to pull in back Nacho there.
But the keeper as well,
Courtois has been injured. Lunen's been injured, been in. Obviously, we can discuss that because, whether he should have played or not. I think there was a big debate on that.
Yeah.
And yet, with all the injuries, Benzema going, Casemiro left, and obviously some of the midfielders getting towards the twilight years, or maybe even beyond the twilight years. They've had one of the best seasons ever.
Yeah, well...
I think they're only the second team or the second Spanish team that's won the Champions League or a European trophy without losing a game. I think that's correct.
Oh, have they not lost this year, no?
Nope.
They didn't.
I didn't realise that was the stats. That's impressive.
Well, I didn't, but they said it on the thing yesterday, so I was just checking it before later. It's the first time they've ever done it in the Champions League, and they played 13 games. They won 9 and drawn 4 in a European Cup or a Champions League, I think.
But I think, to be honest,
and the second team to do it after Barcelona did it in 2005, 2006, where they played 13, won 9 and drawn 4.
I was going to say, what's more worrying for the rest of us, really? They've not been that great. At the start of the season, I didn't think they were they're not a vintage Madrid team, I don't think. They're a great team, but they're not... At the start of the season, I thought Man City were favourite. I thought they were there or thereabouts.
Well, I think we all said, isn't it? Well, apart from Arsenal, but we all said Man City were the favourites, and Arsenal were probably second favourites.
You've got a backward team, isn't it?
So I think...
Arsenal was favourite. Second.
Well, yours was Arsenal, obviously.
We were favourite at some point.
Yeah.
For like, I don't know, maybe a month, and then we were second favourite for...
Well, I think you were flying at the beginning. Man City were a little bit... started a little bit slower. But Man City, obviously, because they won it before, people thought, all right, and, Pep and Co, and they will do.
So I think Madrid now, they could be on a start of
They weren't
another
anybody
period.
favourites. They're probably in the top 4 for most people.
Yeah.
Bayern, obviously, with Bayern Kane, were up there.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
PSG, because it could have been Mbappe's last season, were high up on people's radar. So yeah, I don't think they were in the conversation, obviously, because they're Real Madrid.
Because they're Real Madrid, but that's what I was going to say. For them, they're going to get Mbappe next year, so they can only get stronger. So I think this could be a start of another bit of a
Well,
dominance.
they've got Endrick and Mbappe coming, so the forward line suddenly is...
So next year, again, I mean, you can't see beyond
this talk.
But I think
Alphonso
Davies at some point as well.
Well, that's not...
And maybe Hakim.
It's not set stone, is it?
No.
But it looks like it might be heading
They're going to
there,
wait for him because I think he's got one more year. They're going to wait for him next summer and then get him on a free.
Well, the thing they were saying at the end of
only 23 as well,
the
so.
Champions League final is it goes, they don't need to buy players. All they do is wait because everybody wants to go there. Because if you want to win,
that's it.
you go to there. Yeah. So, especially if you want to win the Champions League. Yeah.
So the next 5 years could be another start of a dominant period for them. I mean, they've been dominant anyway, but you can just see them carrying on, which is ridiculous and scary for the rest.
You would expect them to be better next year than this.
Well,
if they've had all the injuries and stuff today, and you add on the players.
And Mbappe coming in.
Yeah.
So it's...
Gonna strengthen the team, isn't it?
It's...
the only player that seems to be... There's 2 players that I can see now not being there next season, which are the 2 players, I believe, retiring. Which is Nacho and Kroos. That's it.
Yeah.
Everybody else is still going to be there.
They need to replace Carvajal as well. I know he scored yesterday, but right back is a bit of a problem area because
some of getting back Hakimi or somebody else like that. But imagine having Hakimi and Alphonso Davies as your
just flying
lightning flying backs, and you've got ahead of them Vinicius, Rodrigo, Bellingham, Endrick, and Mbappe. Pace in that team would be just ridiculous.
The person that impresses me yesterday as well, Camavinga.
We had to fill in left back, didn't he, in a bit and stuff, and then he's moved around all of that.
Right back.
His energy is ridiculous.
During the season,
he's such a great
right back, left back. Box to box, Odin, everything. It's top 10.
He was brought to Casemiro's replacement, isn't it? Really, or like to grow in, and he's been fantastic. There's Germaini there as well, who didn't play yesterday, and he's been playing centre back because they've had need, and still he's done. I think he did a slightly better job than Casemiro, shall we say, with another conversation. Well, but the midfielders, they've got Camavinga, Tremaine, Kroos is obviously retiring, which is a huge thing. But like, if you're going to go out, I think he's only the second player
since... Is a perfect professional, isn't it?
And I think the last player who went out winning the Champions League was Frank Rijkaard at Ajax in 26 years ago, 1995, I think, was the last time that happened.
For Ajax.
The last time a player's gone out, retired, the last game is like... winning the Champions League.
Yeah.
So Ajax was the last one where Frank Rijkaard did it, and it's like the next one is our man here. So Tony Kroos, which is
what a career he's had as well. At Madrid, it's
you see his trophy thing, and that was before this Champions League's added. He's done his picture out near the thing. It's like most clubs couldn't dream about that. Forget players. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But this is what I was saying, like 6 Champions League wins since 2014. That's our whole history as Liverpool, and we call ourselves, European royalty, and they've done that in 10 years.
Liverpool are the European royalty.
That's what I'm
English
saying.
teams.
They've got 6 since 2014. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
That's their
it is just their trophy.
Definitely.
It's mad. And they've always got great teams, but I don't know what it is. In this competition, we told them at the start of the year, I don't know what the heritage and know-how and just that whole plays a big thing into it. And it's crazy how one club can just...
thing I think they get is, they're not afraid of playing any team. The journalists here get, but you're coming to Anfield and you think, every other team in the world, coming to Anfield is like a big, huge thing. For Real Madrid, it's like,
it's another day out.
It's just another game, but the thing is, for them, other than maybe going to Barcelona and El Clasico, I think every other team, even going to the Allianz, like Bayern Munich's place, or PSG or anywhere, or even the Etihad now, it's just them, just another game. We're Real Madrid. Who are you? We've got more than all of you put together, type of thing.
Especially this current group of players. It's players that have been here, done it. They've got some senior lads who have won the Champions League multiple
Well,
times.
it's like Kroos. I think I've seen I don't know if you've seen this, a meme, one of the games, wasn't it one of the Champions Leagues was delayed?
Yeah.
And in the game, and I think like Don Carlo's telling him, I think it's probably the 2022 one, and he's just like,
it must be the final.
it just means we're going to win it later.
Yeah,
we'll win it 1 hour
yeah.
later, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it is this mentality, and if you hear him speak or some of his things, it's just like, we're going to win.
Yeah.
Modric, the same thing. You just look. Modric is going to leave next season. Then you do, because the ball playing ability of Modric and Kroos, I think they will miss. Because as good as all those other players are, they ain't that level of playing.
Controlling the tempo of the game is
Controlling the game just with moving the ball, like Modric and Kroos are just like
masterful.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I think they're underrated, which is like saying something. But you've got Casemiro and them two underrated, only because of Busquets, Xavi, and Iniesta, isn't it? They were that good. And I think these go under the radar, but if you actually look at who's won more and what they've done,
but I think
the three of these are in another.
I think when we look back in history, in retrospect, I think it's going to be more balanced. Like right now, it's still more recent because they're still playing. But
I think because they had Busquets was the quiet one in them, isn't it? But if you look at their thing, and then Xavi and Iniesta were just so damn good, and they just made teams look ordinary. I think that's what's got them there, and obviously they had Messi as part of that. In the Bellingham position,
the best team ever.
But if you look at, like you said, it's how much they've won. Real Madrid are just ridiculous, especially Champions Leagues. It's just
they're a very special club, aren't they? Yeah.
And the stadium now is like ridiculous,
It's amazing,
and I think they're going. And the thing is, like, they've got to the point where they don't need to spend loads of money.
But you know what I don't get is how Barca are so hamstrung financially and they can't spend, but Madrid seem to be okay to keep going on.
Well, Madrid didn't buy players for ages, did they? They got like it's a time they've got to, like, if you think how much would a Toni Kroos cost you now?
Like that midfield went on for years and years and years.
Modric, Casemiro's, he's only come to United and near enough at the end of his career, but like his good time he's had there, and he's been brilliant, Casemiro. And then Modric, how long they've had out of him, how long they've had out of Kroos. Benzema they had for a long time.
Cristiano as well,
Yeah.
Cristiano, they just,
You know, I was thinking about the Cristiano transfer. They bought him for 80 mil. Got all them years and goals out of him, and then sold him for 100. That's the best piece of business you can ever think of, isn't it? You know what I mean?
And the thing is, they only really lost money on Bale.
Yeah.
But because it was wages and stuff. But the thing is, if you think about what they've won,
maybe on
in that investment,
Hazard, maybe James Rodriguez, James,
and I think that's what James they still won with it, and they didn't buy him for loads, 60 million, and they've made
at the time,
and they've got obviously given free. But I think they've won enough with him. Bale, they won enough.
Yeah.
Hazard's probably been the big
is the only flop you can think.
No. That's one. Is it Jovetic or something like that? The striker.
Did they buy him for loads?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, everyone was raving about him about 6-7 years ago, and Real Madrid got him.
I heard of him. So he
was absolutely dog shit. Literally.
Well, I think they tried a little bit like Barcelona did to buy everybody, and then they've stopped. But when they have bought, most of if you look at the Galacticos and the people, they've made the money because they sell the shirts and the things like that.
Yeah.
So with James Rodriguez, whilst it looks expensive, they probably sold as many shirts to make.
True.
It wasn't 60 million. It sounds like for us, like mere mortal teams, it's a lot.
In 2014, at the time, it's quite a big fee, wasn't it?
He was the biggest guy
after the World Cup.
I think that's exactly what you just said. Now is right. Yeah, the fact that most of these players that they sign, they move shirts.
They pay for themselves.
They pay for themselves.
They recover
Bale,
so well.
They've made money on that. Like, I think James and people like that, they would have Hazard is probably the one the most. Because Bale still was good for about 3 seasons, wasn't he? He was fantastic.
I mean, he won them so many finals. That alone is, you pay
he scored goals in it, and the overhead kick and the other thing, and then one where he runs round.
Copa del Rey in 2014.
And they were flying. I mean, you got him, Ronaldo and co, and it's just like ridiculous. So, and James, and you've got the people. If you look at the team, that's why I think your point is good. But the team now, you don't think of the same Galacticos thing.
Yeah.
Oh, they're coming there, but
they're not about to be. Yeah. It is my point. It's pretty scary.
They are just on their way there.
And I think next season they might be back to that, isn't it? But I think replacing Modric, I think they wants to get a 1-year contract, and then I think he wants to go out next year. Ancelotti going might be a thing, because I think he's 1 more year as well.
They're going to get Alonso, don't they? Which, again...
Well, I think that's why he stopped going to thingies or gone anywhere else to buy nothing.
I actually think as well that him leaving Bayer Leverkusen now is a mistake.
It will be,
100%.
I mean, with the season Bayer Leverkusen had, I mean, obviously we're going to talk about them in a little bit. Their one loss.
Yeah.
if only every team was, we could only dream about one loss. But like, I think if he's lined up, then you can see them going on. They've got a young manager then with a young team.
Yeah.
Because if Modric retires, Ancelotti's gone, but you've got it's frightening.
Yeah.
So I will be wearing my Real Madrid shirt.
Honestly,
I think I'm going to have to get one.
Get out of the cupboard.
Well, I wasn't. I was always like a Barcelona fan because obviously that team, Xavi, Iniesta and Busquets and Messi, was always like ridiculous.
I think I was connected to that team as well because Thierry Henry.
Do you know, I've always leaned to Madrid. I don't know why. Just the Ronaldo.
I've
Messi
only gone to
thing
Madrid because of Ancelotti.
Oh yeah.
But since he's gone, because I just basically said to people, think he's going to win. He's going to go off the Champions League chart now because he'll win.
For me personally, Barcelona used to do my head in because they'd always come and buy Liverpool players or try. Mascherano, Suarez, they'd always try and nick our players for that alone.
I think they did that across Premier League. They did it with Arsenal, they did it with Chelsea, they did it with Liverpool.
Every summer, the rumours, it's Barcelona looking at Coutinho.
And
looking at this.
Real Madrid go after United players.
Yeah.
So
we like them. So, getting back to your point, I think that's the issue. They've actually done quite well because Perez has been quite tight with the money.
Yeah.
And even the stadium, they've done it at a point, and the stadium's going to make him silly money.
Yeah.
So they've done it in quite a smart way. Whereas Barca had a brilliant system because they had La Masia and all these players. Because Messi came through there. Yeah. They didn't go and buy him. And a lot of the other players. Yeah. And they had the good young players, but they left that and went to the Coutinhos and co. Yeah. So they did give you some money back. So I think what a ridiculous amount.
Coutinho.
And he's the one who allowed you to buy Becker and Van Dijk and won the league.
He was the foundation of what Klopp went on to do.
Because that Coutinho money went far.
Well,
they spread that money.
Well, I think that's the best investment you guys made. So selling him, getting the money you did for him was ridiculously good business. So you can't complain about it.
No, but before that, there was Mascherano and Suarez. They just always look at our players. I don't know why. It's almost like they'd always be looking at how Liverpool's doing and then come and pick our stars.
Well, both of them were really good for them as well. Suarez, obviously with the Messi, Neymar and
if you notice as well that they've got some sort of attraction towards the South American players. If you're a South American player and you play in the Premier League, and you're doing well, the chances of Barcelona and Real Madrid coming in is high.
The point you've got is they're used to warm weather. And as much as the Premier League is good, we don't have the
Spanish
best weather.
Speaking as well.
And then it's Spanish and Portuguese speaking. They can go there. So if the Brazilian think they understand it. And the food. So if you go to Barcelona and Madrid aren't the worst place in the world to be. And you've got like 100,000 fans. They got the thing, I think. And there's already other players there. So you get on with them more. I think it's easier for them than in the...
But I think with Barca, where the wheels fell off financially is after they sold Neymar and they bought Coutinho. It didn't work out. Dembele, big money.
Big money players that
never worked out.
And that's why they're stuffed and Real aren't. Because Real had the long time where they haven't actually spent any money. So they've got quite a lot of... Like if the difference in credit between them, I think Real can spend like 500 million or something. It is ridiculous number because of the amount they've got in they haven't spent. And Barcelona's is just when you think about border.
It, so like I said, you've got Coutinho, Dembele, and then Griezmann as well. Just mad fees and players that just
never not got anything out of it.
Never worked out.
They didn't get anything.
I think that's basically the difference. Yeah, and its cost. I mean, the fact that Barcelona's still got a competitive team, they still managed to win the league, and they've got Lewandowski and co. and people.
It's an agency. I mean, they've got
some of the youngsters back. I think is getting back to them.
It's going to be a long way back, though. Competing against this Madrid team, I think, they're a long way off, I think, at that level. Or competing at the top of the Champions League.
Financially, they need to get... They've got the name, and they're also building the stadium. So I think for them, it's going to be a couple of years and getting balance in the books. And so they need to stop, don't be stupid. Balance the books, get some over the youngsters going and get La Masia going again. Probably sell one or other of them for silly money for somebody else or good money, 2 or 3 of them, and then balance the books. Get the stadium, because the stadium I think is going to cost them more even than, although it looks sick if they get it to what it looks like on image, and they've started that. That's 2 or 3 years in it. I think it's 2025, 26 when it should be ready. Then I think then they'll get back to that.
Oh yeah, of course.
But I mean, they've still got a decent time. But then obviously with that, Hansi Flick. Thoughts?
I think I'm not too sure how that's going to fit. To be honest, I mean, he won the treble with Bayern, But other than that, he went to Germany. I'm not too sure. How did that go? I can't quite remember how he done, but
well, if he'd have done well,
Hansi Flick.
If he'd have done well, we would have remembered.
Yeah.
So apart from that treble, the COVID treble, I don't know.
COVID treble.
Well, I think that was when they had the fantastic squad.
Yeah.
You had Lewandowski and Co and people and all at top of the pile, and they had a fantastic team. And then they've sort of, obviously in Germany they win most things apart from this season. But yeah, I think that could be interesting.
Yeah, it's a style of football. I mean, I think he probably.
Would you get rid of Xavi?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Something's
Because Xavi's DNA is obviously Barcelona.
Yeah.
Something's happened there.
Yeah.
Because
there's something more up, isn't it? Because I wouldn't have. He's been quite good.
Steadying the ship.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that good of a manager that would lead them back to the treble
not to that
winning
level, no.
squad or whatever. But it seems to be getting rid of deadwood players on mad wages and try and bring on some youth.
Transitioning.
Transition the club into
back to what Barcelona were.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Something's happened there. But,
I think he fell out with the hierarchy because I think he said he was going to leave. He then got reinstated, and then 2 weeks later they were like they sacked him again.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's happened there.
There's obviously something up there. Although he has said he wants to come back at some point and do, but yeah, I don't think they were that bad because just on that, Dembele's disrespect to Barcelona.
What
do you think he was disrespectful after scoring and stuff? He was really
celebrating. I know that. Yeah.
Because do you think they would have lost if the guy hadn't got sent off? Because the Barcelona were on top of that game.
No, they were.
And it's when
they were. Yeah.
It was the defender got sent off, isn't it? Who was the main player?
Because what score would he have been?
And it was a silly challenge. He only put his hand on, he's got sent off, and then that's when PSG turned it.
Come back,
and then Dembele's disrespect for the club they're going on about, and I think. I don't know. I don't mind ex-players coming back and celebrating for your current Who's
team.
their brilliant striker?
I don't think I will listen as a football fan. Yeah. The way it's disrespectful. I think if you leave and you come and celebrate against my team,
it's fair enough.
I'm just going to hate you more.
No, it's fair enough. But then I think it's more disrespectful for your current team, not celebrating because you score for them. It doesn't matter what you've done before.
It wasn't celebrating. He was a bit over the top.
Okay.
That's what they're basing. Disrespectful celebration, basically, it wasn't like celebrating for PSG.
Yeah.
It was like celebrating
in
against Barcelona rather than. I mean, if you were just celebrating for PSG, it's
a
fine,
regular
isn't it?
celebratory,
It wasn't
and give it a little bit of Shira and all that stuff.
It was a bit like back in the day with Adebayor when he scored for Man City.
Exactly, that's over the top. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't know what's going on there with him, but I think that
Stoichkov, isn't it? Stoichkov, I said, isn't it? Basically, he's not even. In my day, he would have been lacing my boots. Who the hell are you to basically come and disrespect our club?
Sour grapes. That's what that sounds like.
Well, no, but I think it was the point of you're disrespecting the club's history. You're not the level of the club is. And you didn't succeed here. All right, there may be other things. I understand the point, but his point was we've been great for a long, long time. Who are you to come and do it?
Yeah. But
he goes, I'll tell you what he said. He says, basically, if you don't play in the team, you don't disrespect the club. And he's like, yeah, but injured for 108 games or something in it. He goes, you got 18 goals and 16 assists and you're 140 million euros plus bonuses. And he's like, basically, when I went there, I learned about the legends and the thing and what it means. And, you haven't done anything.
Yeah.
So fine, that's fine. You want to leave, you go, you play, you celebrate, but don't disrespect the club. And he was disrespectful to the club. And then, obviously he was on huge money and it's cost a load. So,
he's brought it back though, the Dembele, I think, because I thought he'd lost it after that Barcelona move. I thought, where's he going to go now? But I
think Dembele is doing Angel Di Maria, because when he went to United, you thought, this is it, it's over. Just, and then he went to PSG.
And then just brought it back.
And Dembele is doing exactly the same
for
thing.
The national team as well.
Well, Sancho's doing the same thing. Shall we just say? Something about this.
United, they at this moment, they seems like a joy killer in players. And talking about United, I can do it all day, by the way, because
that's going to be for the next one.
So let's ignore them.
Yeah.
Oh, they were there, but they went down quite fast. So let's just think of it.
We can talk about them in a bit. But they got Europa now, haven't they? Because obviously winning the FA Cup automatically means they go into the Europa.
Yeah, which then knocks
Newcastle
out.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, put them into conference, is it? And then Chelsea out of the conference
altogether.
No, I think Chelsea have still got it. I think United and Newcastle have been knocked out of the thing.
And then
the conference.
they're in the conference. Newcastle is in the conference.
But then, because I thought, because Tottenham finished 5th, I thought that
if you finish
Europa
5th,
League. 6th was Conference League.
Yeah, but because United won, they finished on 8th.
Yeah.
But they won FA Cup.
FA Cup.
They automatically go into FA Cup. They're gonna push one team out, which is Newcastle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what, again, talking about Europe, I think Italy may have 6 Champions League teams next year.
Yeah.
Which is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, because we were supposed to get in it, but we've only got 4. So there's the 4 go there. I think there's 2 Europa League.
And then one conference.
But because the FA Cup. So it's a 5th place team and the FA Cup winners.
Yeah.
And that's knocked down. And then the EFL Cup winners qualify for the Conference League. And then I think there's...
But then obviously because we're in a Champions League, so there's a spare place, I'm presuming, because Liverpool obviously win the Champions League, so that Conference League place may go to someone else. Because obviously we're not going to take it.
Yeah, it's if the FA Cup winners finish in the top 5, then they go. And then I think because of that, because Chelsea were above Newcastle, so I think Newcastle's been knocked out.
Yeah, Newcastle and Chelsea, I think they're in the conference.
Oh, well, I think Chelsea, Yeah,
Newcastle and Chelsea are in the conference, and United Europa League
with Tottenham.
Spurs.
And then
because we didn't get the 5, because they were all saying we're going to get the 5, isn't it? And then it would have gone down a bit further.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get who actually has qualified. Let's see if they qualify for, if it gives you a list. It's explaining how they've done it, but it doesn't give you who's done it.
It's a bit complex, isn't it? So it's how these, where you finish and what does this. And
yeah, they're just explaining it, but they're not giving the Premier League. Let's see. Okay, which teams have qualified? Let's see. Okey-dokey, yeah, okay. Champions League, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, Aston Villa. Europa League is Tottenham,
United,
because Chelsea were there, but they've been pushed down. And the
Chelsea were there, or Newcastle? You mean?
I think Chelsea finished above Newcastle.
No, did they?
Chelsea finished above Newcastle.
7th.
Wow.
So they were in the Europa League, and Man United's knocked them out. And then
hold on, really?
Yeah.
Oh, and no, Newcastle will only qualify for Conference League if Man City win FA Cup final. And Chelsea will play in, Europa League if Man win. So I think it's just Chelsea in the Conference League.
So
only
Newcastle
get one spot.
That's
why, because they were.
So they knocked
I know
out,
in the final,
I think
Shearer
they
was commentating, and they said he's going to be upset over that.
So they're not in Europe next season. I think that could be a blessing for them, because
Newcastle.
Yeah.
But they're not really, because with Newcastle, they need to start building revenue. So the more times you're in Europe,
they needed
because they can't spend. They
But
money,
this is what I'm saying.
They're not allowed to spend.
Next season, not being in Europe, could be a blessing because they can finish as high as possible without. Listen, Europe, you've got to be experienced.
Well, the Premier League will do in the Premier League video, so let's stick.
Yeah,
but I agree.
Okay.
I think they would have needed the revenue, and I think it's a bit of a thing to get knocked out. They wanted Man City to win, basically, isn't it? And then it's better for Chelsea and it's better for Newcastle, because Newcastle would have been there and Chelsea would have been in the Europa League, which obviously for both those clubs would have been a better outcome.
Yeah.
Because Chelsea need the funding as well, and need the money, the revenue as well, and Newcastle would have needed it.
Yeah.
It's hard to jump if you don't get Europe.
Yeah.
As we know very, very well. We are the poster team for this situation. But yeah, I mean, and it's great for Aston Villa to get into Champions League.
Oh, yeah.
So, okie dokie. So, yeah. But that's why Real Madrid done, and I think, they're just ridiculous. And there's 15 now. Don Carlo has 5, as we said. which is like 2 more than everybody else. So I
Have you
think my bid for that he's the best manager of all time
Who's
is
got
just
3?
better.
Zidane.
3 is Zidane,
Zidane.
Pep, I think, and
Thank
Bob
you.
Paisley.
Jose.
Oh no,
Has Jose not got 3?
Jose's
No,
got
Yes,
2, I think.
Porto and Inter.
Inter.
He's got Porto
it.
and Inter.
Yeah.
And Fergie.
Only
He's got
2.
Yeah.
Champions Leagues. Let me see. Maybe did he
Klopp's
sneak in
got
on-
1, yeah.
Yeah.
But how many finals Klopp been in?
It's like
He's
4.
been-
Yeah,
a
Champions
few,
League.
isn't
He's got 2.
He
Yeah,
lost
Jose
one with
Mourinho.
Dortmund in 2013 and 3.
There's not many with
Okay.
more than that. There's like there was only a few on 3, isn't there?
Yeah.
Then Pep's only joined that club last
City.
year
Recently, yeah.
Yeah.
because he had 2 at Barcelona and he's won there. Let's chill out.
But you know the Real Madrid team that won 5 in a bounce, 55-60, was it not the same manager? Or I'm not too sure.
No,
No.
there was some of the same players
5 Champions League on the bounce.
So yeah, Madrid from 55-60, they won 5 in a bounce.
because there's only one of those players. They won 6
Yeah.
Champions Leagues. The one of the left backs had the most Champions League titles as a player, I think, in
That's
one
the-
club, at Real Madrid. But now, obviously, the other lot have joined them as well.
Well, it's easier to win in the 55-60. It's post-war. Nobody cares.
Well, yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
But now
It's
they're doing some special stuff, really. So, I mean, history would talk about Ancelotti better than recent because you know one of those things here that when you talk about history, you seem to appreciate what that person has done because nobody's managed to done in such a long period of time.
Yeah.
I think Ancelotti will be put on a pedestal
Of course.
in about 20 to 30
yeah,
years' time,
yeah.
knowing the fact that it's extremely difficult to do what he has done.
100%.
Yeah.
yeah, because Ancelotti's got 5. The next is 3 with Bob Paisley did it when Liverpool did it in 77, 78, 81 but a lot of that work was started by Shankly and he was the
Shankly,
next and then they won
Yeah.
load. Then Zidane did it obviously after Ancelotti won the Decima, then he did 11, 12, 13, 3 in a row. So 3 in a row is quite special.
Yeah, that is.
Can we just quickly, while we're on Zidane, yeah? Is he an elite manager? Or is just below elite? Or wait.
Well, he's won 3 Champions Leagues in a row.
Yeah,
He's
but-
elite.
Yeah, no, but winning Champions League is something special, 100%, yeah. Winning 3 in a row, again, something special. But sometimes as well as the management and all that stuff, the players, I reckon the squad that he has during those 3 years, man, they can put any one of us in charge of that team,
See,
and we'll get something out.
But-
because
No,
it's a squad
see, you say
of
that. No.
super talented
But then
players.
sometimes also to manage that sort of dressing room,
You have to
in
be
itself.
personality.
Again, like I say,
Yeah.
that
So
huge
sometimes-
personalities.
If
and
we
all that.
walked in there,
You-
Tony Kroos, did you look at us and go,
That's what I'm saying.
"Huh? Who are
Fine,
you?"
fair enough.
Look, we got a podcast. We know what we're
Get
talking
that
about.
respect. You know what I mean? To command that respect.
So why-
in that dressing room
Zidane commands
alone
respect because he's like,
is
It's Zidane.
it's Zidane.
That's
He's
what
won
I'm
the
saying.
World Cup.
Yeah.
He's won the
Of
Champions
course.
League. He's won everything.
Yeah. But are we talking about the
He's
fact
one
that
of the best players of all time.
If it's, I believe that what you just said now, yeah, that because of who he is as a player, not who he is as a manager, you can't be that good as a manager
I think-
and not
But-
be able
but my
to be
point's
in
on
a
him-
team right now.
No, my point would be he needs to go and do it somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or back there. But like, I don't think that's going to be the thing. But like, to prove that he's like really in the top conversation, it's like Ancelotti's won the league in every the top 5 leagues. He's won 5, 2 at one club and 3 at another. So yeah, Paisley, you could say, continued it because they already had a good team, but still, it takes something to win them. It's not that easy.
Yeah.
So I think Zidane is in the conversation, and
Being
he's
an-
a lead
being an
he's a
elite.
lead manager, but to give him to put him in the same pedestal as like a Pep or Ancelotti or co, he needs to do it somewhere else because Pep has still done it at Barcelona and Man
But Fergie
City,
done it at
and he
one
was
club,
good at all of them.
because
Well, you see, I'm not.
Fergie done it at one
I'm
club.
not
How do we then say that?
but he also had a success with Aberdeen as well. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
he
No,
He started-
Champions League.
No,
not
but
not for that level. I
No,
think
but if
he
you
won-
consider the size of Aberdeen,
He won a
and
European
he
trophy.
broke the Rangers Celtic,
Yeah.
like, duopoly, and managed to get them in winning the league. And he won the European, either the Cup Winners' Cup.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And, well, I think he might have won the Super, but he won the Cup Winners' Cup, I think. there.
Yeah.
which back in the day was basically like the Europa. It was the second trophy,
Yeah.
So it is a big
that
thing.
size,
It's a huge achievement. He took him
So
from
we
nowhere
need
to
it.
somewhere.
We need him somewhere else to
needs to
do
do
the
somewhere
same
else.
thing somewhere else for us to
But I think
put him in that
He
conversation
can go back to
as
Real
an
Madrid
elite.
and do it, but like we're saying, I think Xavi's probably the next guy, and Ancelotti's there.
Yeah.
So he could do it there again. I think he needs a second spell somewhere to do it.
I think-
he either need a national team or
go
he
to
goes back
Paris
to a club,
or PSG.
PSG, and build them up. But the
and
problem
win
there
them
is
the
the
Champions League.
competition, isn't it? You need to
Yeah.
win them the Champions League.
Yeah.
I think he probably needs to go to either the big boys in Germany, but I don't think that will suit him, or somewhere else and make his
I
name.
think
Maybe
Zidane-
Italy if the Italian clubs start coming up.
Yeah.
And
I can only see him going to either PSG or Italy because
but he's still elite because you don't win.
Yeah.
There's no manager who's won 3 in a row. Because even when Real Madrid had been at the beginning, it was just 2-2-2 or 2-2-2 things.
so he's got that record.
Pep with that
on his
Barcelona
own.
team couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Even Ancelotti's are like spaced apart. So
3 on a bounce
even
is
Liverpool's
crazy.
ones, there was 2 in a row, and then the thing. So there's a few who've done like 2 because you have a great team.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's just like, see that's a thing. But there's quite a lot of them with 2. So people who go on like the best manager is Fergie. I think that's a lot of Premier League bias because the amount of times he played in the Champions League.
I don't think he's the best manager ever.
I don't even think he's the best manager in the Premier
In
League.
the Premier history, I think Pep now.
Do you know who I think it is? The best manager in Premier League? Well, now it's probably going to be Pep, but like before Pep time, I think it's Arsene Wenger because he took him from less to more, and he was competing against a financial behemoth.
Yeah.
And and now I think in the next year or 2, I think Pep's going to be the number 1.
I think for me, Pep it is because he's on 8 years.
He's the best manager per se. I think in the if you put on a thing, he's the best manager there has ever been.
But we're talking about Fergie doing it for 16 years. Let's say if you put a percentage here for 16 years, it won the Premier League.
Yeah, but
I think about
13
70% or 75% of the time.
13 times.
No, Fergie's
for
achievement is
16
brilliant.
years.
But the thing that I've got with them is that it went from the league to convert. And then once it converted, they got the money. They had the biggest stadium. They got all the things. They're the ones. So as much as it's him, it's the commercial thing that they did. Man United has made them a super club as much as having him. And then they just won everything. But on that basis, how many times he won the league? They were in the Champions League. They only won it twice. And even then, it was a bit like...
No, I was going to say, I don't know if you guys have watched that new documentary 99 on Prime. Before they won it in 99, it was a problem in Europe. The whole of the 90s,
They came back. They had to come back.
Yeah.
To win it against Bayern, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it was like literally a last minute from Oli.
Yeah,
to
he struggled.
nick it
And that's my argument against them.
Yeah.
The amount of chances they had in Europe. All right, there was other competition. They haven't been like the dominant team in Europe. The 2-1 comeback was really... All right, that's the way they played. But like that team was good. But is it on my list of teams of the greatest teams of all time? No, it's not even close.
Yeah, I mean, they won a treble, but...
It's not.
Yeah,
that
but
treble winning
I think
team,
it's like...
I don't think it is.
I think there's other teams that haven't won the treble that have been better than they have.
Yeah.
Like the Invincibles. I'd say even Liverpool's team of their... When they won the league this time and they won all the trophies and the Klopp.
I think as far as...
I think Klopp's a better manager than he is.
Than
than
Fergie.
Fergie.
Really?
It's longevity.
Where he's taken
Yeah.
him to what he's done
Yeah.
against who he's competing against. I think Klopp's as a map, and he did it at Borussia again against bigger times. He's done basically what Fergie did with Aberdeen,
Yeah.
but to a higher level because
smaller
he's actually
budget,
gone to the top table, not the
There's an argument.
second table.
Not really.
I think
no.
So Fergie isn't even my best manager in the Premier League. I think it was going to be Pep. I think Wenger is in the conversation.
I think it's between 3 people: Wenger, Klopp, Wenger, Pep, and Fergie.
As pure managers, I think Jose and Carlo are better than all of that lot. Maybe with Pep, I would say they're the three best. But they haven't done enough in the Premier League, I think.
See, with Wenger though, I think his legacy after the one.
Well, the thing is that one of the best teams that's been in the Premier League is the Invincibles.
The Invincibles, yeah.
So I think he's built that, and he was competing at a lower level financially against the biggest commercial thing. So he was like provided competition for Man United because Man United basically had it to themselves. That's my argument, that who was the competition? You guys for a little bit, but you weren't really competing at the same level.
Not really. Chelsea
came, and then when Chelsea came and they actually had the financial muscle.
Well. Yeah.
Well, when Chelsea had equal financial muscle, they just pushed them aside and went past them with an unknown man. Well, really, just the younger manager Jose Mourinho came. They bought the team and they just took them to the side. But Man United weren't financially less off. They could have competed the same, but they got done. Wenger competed on a lower level and made the team that was better than any of the United teams, I think.
Not to be fair, I think from 96 to 2004.
It's not against Ferguson. I just think it's a lot of bias of Premier League, and that's the best. Wenger's still done it in different places and done it. Yeah, Ferguson's a brilliant manager, don't get me wrong, it's fantastic. Some of the football that they played, and they've made, United basically made the Premier League what it is because they started that thing and it's driven it from everywhere else, from Italy, Spain, it came there. But do I look back on any of the teams and think, yeah, they're really brilliant? We used to watch them all the time. That's the thing you watch. Yeah, it was good entertainment. But like technically and physically, do I think, because I seen them against Milan, there's one where Kaká just took the piss out of them. And then there's Barcelona did it to them, and other teams just destroyed them.
I think that
you're not the best team in the world.
That 2018 for me was good though. You know, Tevez, Rooney and Ronaldo, the one that won in Moscow against Chelsea, they were a bit unlucky because after that they got to the final the following year, 2009, obviously Pep. That was the best team ever. And then again in 11. So he got a bit unlucky. Historically, he come up against Guardiola in that Barcelona team.
But if you look at people saying, look at not last year, the year before, right? Real Madrid. Real Madrid spent force.
Yeah.
They beat Chelsea, Liverpool and Pep, Man City and PSG.
True.
To win the people go like, oh, it's lucky, but you beat probably the four best sides in Europe at this point, because that's PSG when they were not just Mbappe, they were more. Yeah. It's probably the best Liverpool team on form. And Pep's,
but like, that Barca team, brilliant. That Barca team was something else though. In 2009, that Barcelona team,
but that's Pep's team, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. So it's still like the manager who was the team there. But I've seen like Milan teams when they were brilliant under Ancelotti. The team, if you look at the players, you think they'd give them a game, even the Barcelona team or somebody. You know, you had Seedorf, Pirlo, Gattuso, Kaká, Shevchenko in front of them. You know, Cafu was one of your flying by Maldini on the other side. The best two fullbacks probably of all time.
Stam
and Nesta in the centre, and Dida in goal, and whatever else or whatever. You're thinking, that's some exceptional force. Yeah. So that's why but I think just on 5 Champions Leagues, Ancelotti is the best. It's end of conversation.
It's a fair argument.
On a European basis, he is the best of all time.
And he's done it in multiple countries. Yeah.
He's won the league in every country. Yeah. He's basically been the thing is like I said, if he'd have stayed at Everton and we'd got the fans back and we wouldn't have been in this mess, we wouldn't be in the financial mess, we wouldn't have got points taken, we'd have been in the Champions League.
Yeah. Because it was how long ago was
and with his skill in the Champions League, we might actually get qualified and done something. We'd got knocked out by Real Madrid, but still.
Yeah. How long was Everton for?
A season and a half, was it?
A season and a half, but it was during COVID, so the fans didn't get to see him. We didn't get to see. But if you look at who he was going to buy, what they had lined up when he was there, because they had that Nunes that City had bought. They had the Denzel Dumfries, the right back who went to Thingy, and somebody else really good as well. And the centre-back, good centre-back and a thing. And then if you think the team we had then and you add that to it, the mix, because there's a period of time we were basically near the top of the league. We were in European qualification till like the last few games where they messed it up. But the players did it, not them, because of some injuries and some thingy. We were challenging all the way through. And then from there, with Benitez, we just went to the other side. And Benitez is the reason we're in all these things. A little bit of that, but they wouldn't have, if they'd have got closer there, they wouldn't have the issue of not being able to spend money, and they would have been all right. And if you can do that at Everton, give him a team like Real Madrid, obviously he's going to work miracles. He's going to be fantastic. So, but anyway, we're getting a bit off track.
I was going to say, let's get
back to Atalanta and Leverkusen. Leverkusen being one game beaten in the Europa League final.
From immortality.
Dethroned Bayern Munich with, we give you a bit of time on that. Dethroned Bayern Munich with Harry Kane. Go on. We lovely shoot.
The Harry Kane, the trophy dodger for himself.
Go on, Jules. Now, give him a chance to load up his.
Leverkusen, what a season they've had. I mean, Because I kept watching him, just thinking it's gonna fall away. But
I think everybody did.
Yeah.
Hold on.
The thing is, I haven't actually seen him play that much. I've seen little highlights, I watched the Europa League final to see it, and I was like, if I was watching this, Atalanta are just destroying them, neutralised them.
Atalanta stifled.
I think you got to give kudos to Atalanta, his manager, and the thing. What he's done with them.
Honestly,
they did it to you. The same thing. You're just like, this isn't Liverpool. What the hell? What's going on here?
Yeah, they put you off your game so much.
Well, I don't think. I think Liverpool were not prepared for them.
I think
because Liverpool, if you know, in that game, Liverpool brought on Salah, Nunes to try and change the last minute. By that point, it was late.
But I think it's just
they were expecting a relax.
Yeah,
we can turn them over real quick. Let's rest some of the big boys.
If you put on Liverpool, they did the same to Leverkusen, and I'm sure they were expecting it because obviously they beat Liverpool. And Leverkusen tried and like huffed and puffed.
Oh no, they're good sides. 100%.
They just made them look like they were like ordinary.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this is a team that's lost a game all season, outdid Bayern and everything with super goals scored by Dodge Kane.
Lukman it was absolutely.
Oh God, what a hat trick!
It was just on fire that day. It just won all the smoke.
Oh, they were fire. Lookman from Everton, see that? Bring up these great players.
He's
we made a profit on him though. He's good for us.
Would you have him back now?
I didn't want to sell him then, but they sold him because they got him at a cheap price. It was to balance the books, so they got I think they sold him for about 20 million euros or something, and they got a good offer. So they did it.
How much did you get him?
I think only for like $1 million or $2 million or some silliness or $4 million or something. They made
quite a lot of. You didn't get him from Charlton straight. Did you get him from Charlton?
He came from
Fulham, isn't it? I think
we bought him as a young player, and we had to pay I think we only had to pay like the fee, or we paid a nominal fee for him. I'll look it up. While you talk, I'll look it up.
I think it went from Charlton to. I know it's a Charlton product.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's one of the London clubs.
It's a Charlton product. Yeah. But I'm not sure whether I went to Fulham first
and then
Everton, or Everton first and then Fulham.
Oh no, 7.5 rising to 11. So I think we doubled our money by selling them because.
So where did he go? From Charlton?
I think we loaned them first and we bought them from Charlton, didn't we?
So you bought him from Charlton and then you loaned him to Fulham?
Because they developed them firstly, then we developed. Yeah, we loaned them out, I think, as well.
Yeah, couple times or something like that.
And sold him to about Leipzig, was it? I remember him going to Germany.
Yeah, he did go to Leipzig.
Leipzig and up to 22.5 million, wasn't it? I think it was initial 16, but with the bits depending on what he does.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, with Atalanta though, like you were saying, especially against us, I think there was a level of complacency.
But if you look at that money, that amount of money, and you look at the 3 finishes, and you just think that's bargain. Even at 20 million, it's a bargain.
Absolutely. He that day, I watched the game.
Good games at Everton where he looked like a world beater, and then but it was only a bit. But he's a bit younger, and I think the experience after leaving and a little bit of hopping around and a bit of Leipzig has given him. He's grounded him more, and it looks like a top. I think he's found a home.
When it was at Everton, there was a lot of hype around him that I think might have added to the pressure. And now it seems to be
delivering a bit of disruption
on that pressure.
Everton as well, isn't it? At the same time,
he played for Nigeria in the African Nations Cup, and again,
was he a starter? Was he a starter for
100%? Osimhen, I like Osimhen. He's a good player. I don't want him at Arsenal because I don't think he's a top elite striker, but he's a good player. Yeah, but in that competition, Lukman carried the team more than Osimhen. 100%.
No, you could see his potential. They've seen there. I think they have to give him a chance, and they realised. I think it's as much as about Everton as him because I don't think we were ready at the time. I think if you brought him into like one of them, like now, he'd have been there.
Yeah, but no, he's a good player.
And I think it's also like the work rate, but I think he's got better at that. I think it was never about his going forward; it was his work rate and his finishing a bit. Yeah. But obviously, his finishing from those finishes. But he hasn't scored that many there. That was like that's more than I think he scored in a few games. Yeah. So he's just pulled it out. I mean, good luck to him. I feel happy to see him.
It's a good time to turn it up, isn't it?
Turn up in a final. Yeah. And I don't think there's that many people who've scored hat tricks in Euro finals. So they were fantastic.
Not that many people scored hat trick. I don't even think anybody is the only person that scored hat trick against Bayer Leverkusen.
Probably, yeah. That might be the case. But
let me tell you some crazy stats. 11 occasions, they have scored on the 90th minute.
Yeah, but that's what they were saying even.
11.
Yeah, I know.
You know how ridiculous that sounds?
No. What are you talking about? What Leverkusen is on?
Yeah.
No. Well,
They just don't give up. They don't, you know.
So what Atalanta did to him was just like, that's what he said. They just pull out a thing with it.
We were talking about this
Liverpool played them
way that the first time that I've sat down to watch their full game, they got absolutely turned over. It was like, what is going on?
I kept catching their comebacks. They kept scoring in the 96th.
Yeah, 95th, 94th.
Whatever. Come back to draw 2-2.
Yeah, draw or even to win the game. They just literally don't give up.
But to be fair, I mean, look, they still weren't invincible in the league. What
Alonso has achieved this season incredible. Is probably never going to be done.
And also, like you were saying before, for him to show that loyalty and stay this year, I think it's probably better for his career because
he has to.
Exactly.
It would be silly for him to decide. It doesn't matter whether it's Liverpool or Real Madrid or whatever. It will be extremely silly because he's been with them 1 year and has achieved that.
Exactly.
If he leave, the pressure that's going to be on him to deliver at Liverpool, Real Madrid is going to be crazy.
And also, those jobs are going to be there. He's only 42. You know what I mean? So he's got time to develop. And also, I think next year he's got a good chance to even retain the league because, look, company, who knows how he's going to do.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
He's got a chance to retain the league, consolidate, see what he does in the Champions League. And
I really do hope that company provide a bit of competition for him in that Bundesliga because I think company is a good manager. I don't think Bayern's job is exactly what it should be. Just like Alonso, you need to be at those jobs that provide you to deal with losses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For you to say you want to go to the big boys. Because big boys, there's one thing about the big teams, which is the fact that we don't cope well with loss. It doesn't matter where it comes from.
No.
We don't cope well at all. Yeah. If it's a loss, we are fuming. So as a manager, a young manager up and coming and all that stuff, you try to make your stamp on the game, you need to be able to deal with losses. You know, that's one thing I rate Arteta for, in the last 2 years, which is the fact that it seems to know how to cope with losses. Like, if it loses today, it can lose today and tomorrow, next week, it will approach the game differently rather than with naive of the last game. Do you understand what I mean? He's happy to drop the weak link that, this person didn't work in the last game. We're going to try this person today. So I'm happy with that kind of stuff, which is what we as a fan, if we identify somebody as a weak link in the last loss, I'm happy for you to be on the bench. Give somebody else a go. Let's see if they can turn it around.
I think, but then the only problem with company though, a club like Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, losing is not an option. That's what I'm saying. It comes with pressure. You need to be able to be okay and know how to deal with losses, because you can't carry the last loss into the new game.
You have to leave it behind and approach it fresh, and let's get at them again. It's gonna be a lot more difficult than they expect because they expect them to win the league and not by they expect Bayern to win the league. That is coming from a team that you just expect to stay in the league and going to a team that you expect to win the league is gonna be a lot more difficult. He's got the players. He's got the players. He's got Keynes, Gnabry, Coleman, Sane. He's got the players, Kimmich. Again, like I say, it can do it. It should be able to do it.
The team's there
because the player is there. You just need to inspire them, and I don't know.
You'd expect it to go back to normal services if you can keep Leverkusen there because that'd be. I think that's why I think Xabi needs to do. That'll be a good season for him, and then if it is, then it'll be go to Real Madrid or somebody else, wherever he's going to go to. So I think it was good for him to stay.
Yeah.
I think it's just on Lookman thing. Yeah, I think he's the only player who's ever scored in the Europa League final or the second tier competition.
Scored a hat-trick.
Scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
In the Champions League, there's been a few, but like you're in great company. There's Ferenc Puskás. Scored 4 and 3, so he scored twice. And Alfredo Di Stefano scored 1. And I think the only other name in history who scored is Pierino Prati for AC Milan against Ajax. But that's like 1960, 69. So if you think of that, to be in the company of Puskás and Di Stefano.
I can't recall. Not in my lifetime. And I was trying to think.
Di Stefano is
I think
hell of a
load.
player,
You've got there's some really, really good players. We've got 2 braces, but I don't think anybody scored. And Di Stefano and Puskás was in the Real Madrid team when they won 5-0.
Because even a brace, I can't recall that many players scoring twice in the Champions League final.
There's not loads. No, but it's like Van Basten and people like that. You're in the really written.
I can think Milito in 2010.
Milito for Inter. Sorry, not Milito. Milito.
He's the only one I can think.
Van Basten's done it, I think. And there's Massaro at Milan. But you're in the great teams.
Didn't Bale do it?
Huh?
He did,
Bale's done it for Champions. But again, the same thing. Great players, great teams.
Yeah.
So if you think that's Ferenc Puskás, who's probably between him and Di Stefano were the 2 best players in the world, that's like, and he's got 4 and 3, but that's in a 7-3 final, and I think he scored 4 and Di Stefano scored 3 or something, didn't he?
Do you think Leverkusen was just on holiday mode, or? Because I don't necessarily think they play bad. I just think Atalanta will just
did what they did to Liverpool.
When they get into the final third, they seem a lot more dangerous.
Tactically, they just. I think what Gasperini done, they've got this mad system. He man marks all across the pitch.
All over the park.
And I don't think Leverkusen could deal with it. They just couldn't.
And neither could Liverpool. And that's what Liverpool do to most of the teams. They did to them.
Yeah.
And they got firepower to finish, and that was the difference.
And what we were just talking about, the
goal when he smashed it in was
it's ridiculous.
That Liverpool, their approach to that game was soft because they expect it to be a quick job.
They expected to win, and they went the way they normally play. It just didn't work.
Well.
And then,
they rested a lot of big boys.
I think that weekend we were playing a big game. I think that was a thing.
It was like the last 10, 11
the
Premier
derby
League
was
games.
coming up, they had to rest all the players.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I think we were away United on a Sunday or something. There was a big game where he rested so many players.
That's what I'm saying. It was a title running.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to say, let's rest this. And then I was watching it like this.
But I think
honestly, the game was 3-0. It should have been 5.
I enjoyed the game as well. They could have been.
It should have been 5.
I mean, it wasn't that they just won.
Yeah.
But I think it was just that they neutralized them. Like I said, I haven't seen Leverkusen in that many games, and I was looking forward to watching them. Thinking, not against Atalanta. I like Atalanta as well, but I just thought Atalanta had been a bit shaky in the league. They've not been great. They've been good, but and I'd seen the game against Liverpool. Thought, but Leverkusen should be. And you're watching it, and I'm thinking, what's all the fuss about? This Atalanta are brilliant, and then they're not. And it was the same as they did against Liverpool. So shout out to them. They were the Europa League champions.
Yeah.
Conference League I didn't really watch. Yeah. So Olympiacos won.
The only game,
well done.
Fiorentina. I think I only watched Villa. There was a Villa game that I watched in the Conference League.
Well, that's what we were
about it.
looking at them. But then, so they managed to get, I think, who knocked Villa? Fiorentina?
It was Olympiacos, wasn't it?
Olympiacos, yeah.
And then they won.
That's how they got to the final.
Yeah,
and
I did find it a bit surprising because our man Unai Emery is usually good at these competitions. So I was thinking, I had a sneaky feeling that Villa might be the one to win. And they've got a good side.
I think
Olympiacos must be.
You know where it is. Yeah.
Oh, but they destroyed. I watched that game actually. Yeah, they did. And one of them didn't need to score from a will.
Yeah, they dealt with them.
The Aston Villa stuff. Going back to that, they were not far off the top. Man City, the winner. When I say not far, they're not going to win it. But they were not crazy far off. It's not 20 points.
You've got to give them that.
My point, the point I was trying to make is the fact that Premier League is so demanding that try and get as much points as possible because you're chasing that top 4. And, so I feel like maybe it's kind of hard to choose that being in the Champions League next season is more important. Now, it would be great if we can win this and be in the Champions League at the same time.
Well, I don't think they gave it up. I just think Olympiacos just did a job on them, isn't it? The Olympiacos was just brilliant. They just made them look ordinary.
They've got a good squad as well. If you get Olympiacos squad up,
they were a good team.
It's like Zaha is doing great there and all that stuff here. And we know Zaha can be a handful when he fancies it. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know he was there, but but Olympiacos sort of like their team, and they've got loads of European experience. Whereas you could see that Villa didn't have as much, even though Unai Emery has.
Yeah.
But I think Villa have done really well. But we'll say Villa for our Premier League video or domestic video. So so shout out to Real Madrid, Champions League winners again. Hala Madrid. 15 now, which is ridiculous. Because I keep getting this meme, isn't it? So like you have to draw the big Everton one and the little Real Madrid one.
Yeah.
We won 15, and they have like AC Milan, Liverpool, like
crazy.
PSG and Man City, and they've got less.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It makes me laugh anyway. But
mad.
yeah, still,
Yeah.
we have to do something to keep ourselves cheered up. And yeah, shout out to Atalanta because they're the only team that beat Leverkusen, isn't it? As far as I know.
Yes.
So it's brilliant. And Olympiacos as well. Yeah, they knocked Villa out. And then the question on that, your thoughts on why there's no English teams in any of the finals? Because we went from teams.
They did. They go far. It's just everybody that beat them went to win. The person that knocks the light of Liverpool out went to win. The Man City out went to win.
And Olympiacos.
So they're not doing.
They lost against the eventual winners. So
they're not doing too bad, But yeah.
Okay, and on that note, so it was good, but we just lost to the eventual winners. So we'll cut it off there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So okay, yeah. Thank you very much for that. I think it's been an interesting run around the Champions League. We apologise if we missed anything out of those.
Yeah.
Yes.
So shout out to all those teams, and Leverkusen been amazing.
Yeah.
And we will see you in the next one, which will probably be about. We'll do our domestic roundup, and we can talk about Villa and Co. then. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for listening. Make some comments. Tell us what you think if we were talking rubbish or whatever. And like and subscribe and share.
Share, like, and subscribe.
Yeah. Cool. See you in the next one.